Welcome back to a small update video. Again, I'm using the Fractal method, explanation video, how it works, with the rules, and so on and so on. I will put at the end of the video. Okay, well then let's jump into AMC. So before we start, I changed a little bit on the sound because I have the opinion I'm always a little bit too quiet on the videos. Tell me if it's now better or worse. Yeah. For the tracking, nothing really changed on AMC. Yeah. Sadly, we didn't got the pullback. Yeah. But let's go through the versions very quick again. First, I really have to say, I don't expect squeeze on earnings next week. Doesn't matter if they have the best earnings or the worst earnings. I really don't expect much. For version 1, yeah, if it's good earnings and we really start running, I would expect something between 20 and 43% for Monday. I showed it already on Friday. Just we would do now our big higher low. The same like May 2024, same like the January 13th in 2021 or January the 20th in 2021. In that case, our bottom was 161. I don't like it so much because the T is so small to the M, but okay. Confirmation for this would be if we break 228. We would go up. For timing, we have two ways. If we have massive volume, we could finish this whole thing next week. If we have low volume, this would be next week. This would be the following week. And in 2 weeks, we could start looking for something big again. For this version, it's essential that if we do that, we are not allowed to break 161 again. If we do that, it's over for 2026. If we do that. The other, I would say I lean 50% to this. The version number 2 is the normal version. We are looking for since weeks now. And that means that Wednesday, the 15th of July, last Wednesday, was our T. In that case, yeah, our earnings, doesn't matter how good they are, will be going down. Yeah, if it's now a knife or if we take the whole week, again, depends on volume. In that case, you will break 161. You will. Your bounce target is between 150 to 137. Anything lower, it's problematic. Yeah? And then we would do the smaller higher low. Again, if we do this, I don't think we would do this in a whole week. Maybe if we're getting a lot of volume, but yeah, I would expect that this will at least take 2 weeks. Just saying. Also here, if we bounced in here and starting this higher low, also here, it's absolutely essential that we are holding this higher low. If we bounce here and doing the higher low and break this V again, same thing. It's over for 2026 if we do that. And now to the 1% opium version. And that's because of volatility. Maybe you already saw that at earnings, especially for the big guys, Netflix, Amazon, Microsoft, or whatever. At start of earnings, you sometimes see so crazy candles. Yeah. The only opium version I would see for AMC is that we suddenly get a candle before earnings, at earnings, something like this. That we're finishing this higher low in one candle. If we do that, if we bounce here, yeah. So let's say we're getting this candle on earnings, yeah. So minus 14% pre-market, doesn't matter. And we're bouncing over 161 and especially breaking 228 after that. Okay. Then this higher low is finished and we can go. That's the only version where I could see next week a really big run. If we do that on Monday in pre-market, yeah, then it's absolutely okay. For all my versions, except this one, everything over $3 without this, without this, yeah, without a higher low, and I'm wrong, yeah, then AMC fucked me again, yeah. I mean, I still have my position absolutely clear, but then it choked on me again, yeah. Same like May, where I wanted my higher low and didn't got it, would be the same thing, yeah. All my versions, except the YOLO version, would be wrong if we break $3, yeah, without a higher low, yeah. I'm showing this just for levels, yeah, but only because I'm showing this, I wouldn't be right. If we do that, this tracking down here, the last part is wrong. And I will also state that and say that. Yeah? I just don't expect it. Yeah? Okay, good. Then next one is BYND. So, was, I would say, a pretty good Friday. Yeah. I mean, we went a little bit lower. Yeah. But we got a pretty good bounce. And then we got this nice little candle in after hours. Yeah. And I said on in the Friday video, if we stay above 57 cents, I will buy a little YOLO position, and no financial advice. I did. I bought 600 contracts for September $2 strikes. Yeah. Because we have only two ways here, in my opinion: run or die. Yeah. To make it absolutely clear, still stands. If we touch or break 57 cents, BYND is dead. End of story. I don't repeat it today. If you're interested, just watch the Friday video. If not, we have two ways. The absolute bullish version is, this was our V. We already did our little higher low here. And this was already the start of the run. Yeah. Only answer to this is Monday. Yeah. If this is already the bullish version, we should go. Again, our target is something over 84 cents for confirmation. Yeah. Second thing is, I know, I can't even say it anymore. We may be doing now a bigger higher low. Yeah. In that case, again, we are not allowed to touch or break 58.89 cents. Again, maybe this takes again the full week. Yeah, because BYND is waiting on something, you know. Yeah. What be the slow version? Yeah. We are still in the region of no man's land. We want to break heaven's door or we die. The only thing which I can see still is that we are right now in this candle. Yeah, I'm talking about March 31st. The tricky part about this stupid thing here right now is that this candle could expand up to here, 72, and then still coming a little bit lower. Yeah, same as here. Squeezed up, came down, and made a little lower low. The only problem with this is, doesn't matter if this is already or this, we don't have much space left. Yeah. We only have place till 57.24 cents. That's not much. Yeah. From here to here, that's only 5%. Yeah. Possible. Yeah. And also here, you see this was what? This was a difference of 1.38%. But close. And yeah, I know it's nerve-wracking. Yeah. But whatever we are doing, we are not allowed to break 57 cents. Yeah. That would be the death sentence. Because of the news of this little candle in after hours, they are talking to their debt holder that they can please close their notes for 2027 with cash or stocks. And I immediately went, oh God, they will dilute again, it's over. I think it's the same thing, could be wrong. I think it's the same thing like AMC. AMC also had a quite big chunk of their debt due to 2027. And they also talk to their holders if they can throw that into 2030, 2031. And I think BYND is trying to do the same thing. That's first of all something bullish. Yeah? Because if they can just delay that, yeah, that's bullish. Second, why now? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they Fractal track their own stock, maybe, yeah, but I don't think so. But what if they already have really great news, another partnership or whatever in the background, which they didn't publish still? Yeah. If we would now expect that our bullish tracking is right, and we're doing now till August this move, of course they want to have the right to dilute and to delete this step for 2027 into the run or at the peak of the run. I mean, it would be perfect news. We get the run up here somewhere. They are saying, hey, we are now diluting to kill the dip, and that would be the news for this pullback. Would be perfect. But whatever, you want to have the right to do that before the run. You don't want to see a run and starting here to talk to your debt holders and, hey, can we please? Yeah, you want to have that done before that. So I wouldn't necessarily call that bearish, this news. Yeah, I think this news is bullish. For the tracking, we only have two ways. Finally getting a fucking bounce, or we are dead. Yeah, let's see. Good. Next one is a little update to NIO. Nothing really changed. The only thing which changed in the last weeks, my previous tracking, was that we are in May 2020. With this bigger pullback we did here, it's not possible anymore. So I changed my tracking to here, the last higher low before we start the run, into April 2020. And we have here two versions. Yeah. First of all, still have my position. I am still absolutely bullish. We have two ways. First, this here on June 29 was the bounce. We did our high low. In that case, we should finally get a bigger bounce and reversal. And I'm not talking about 5% or some a sweet up reversal. Our levels are still the same. Everything over 626 is already bullish. Everything over 660-ish is very bullish, and confirmation is, in my opinion, everything over $7. No financial advice. And to be 100% confirmation is anything over $8. The second version, I would say, is still possible if this is our last higher low for the bullish version. If we micro track this, then this could be the last little T. Yeah. In that case, we would still need one little lower low, one little under 464. Yeah, somewhere in this range for the last V. Yeah, so if we do this, yeah. But what is absolutely essential to this is, doesn't matter how good the news or whatever, or if we're getting a market crash, which we will talk today, there is no excuses. We are not allowed to break 439, 438. We are not allowed to break the low of February 2nd in 2026. If we do that, well, then this becomes T, and we already have a level for this. Our level would be $2.08. V under A. If we do that, that's bad. And the thing is, the landmark for this is we would be here, in my opinion. Yeah. September 2019. And this would be the move we are looking for. Yeah. I don't think they will go bankrupt. This should also be quite quick. The only problem is, if we do that, we still have to do this then. Yeah. I mean, it would be a good entry for people who aren't in it yet. But you would go down here, then you would do your A, and then this will take the rest of the year if you do that. Yeah, just saying. For our bullish tracking, doesn't really matter if we need the little lower low or if we're going up. If we're going up, we should go up from Monday, to make that absolutely clear. Our next target for this is still the same, $16 or higher, 16 to 22 for B. Then little pullback, and the next run is already C. And how this move should look like, also pretty clear. In that case, we are finishing right now this little higher low here. And the rest of the year, we are doing this. If we're already reaching C till end of the year, it depends on volume. I still expect that we reach at least B for the rest of the year. Yeah. Otherwise, we have just to see. Yeah. And also this B here is not really a 0.5 pullback. It's way lower, way higher. Yeah. From the A button to this is not even near the 0.5. So yeah. But I'm still absolutely bullish on here. As long as we're not breaking, touching 436. If we do that, maybe we can even play short on it. Yeah, but at least I think we have to wait for $2.08. Okay, because of next week, let's take a look on VIX. Again, volatility index. VIX bullish means market bearish. VIX bearish means market bullish. Yeah? For this iteration, we are looking for our top in August 2024. Then we have our lower high and our midpoint. And I'm still the opinion that this midpoint isn't finished. I'm still the opinion that this midpoint started here in December 2025, and we still have to come down here. Means VIX around $13. Yeah? Now we had a pretty good knife from Monday to Friday on SPY. And it killed my absolute bear thesis on VIX. But the thing is, I showed this version as an alternative. And right now, it's picture perfect. I said as alternative, we would come to this trend line. And on Friday, we touched it perfectly. Yeah. So for the bearish version for VIX, what does that mean? We have our macro M. And we micro track this macro M. That would mean this is our top, our C. A lower high. That's the M of macro M, the small M of macro M. And this Friday was the small T of M. What does that mean? That means, especially if you look at Friday, if we macro track this T, this was C, this was already lower high. We should get fucking knives on VIX. And again, T's and M's are normally fucking knives. You saw that, for example, on FFI. Yeah? Fucking knives. So what is our target for this? Well, this would be the last landmark. The last landmark of M. Our next target is 1340. And as a T, it should be quick. To make that clear, that would be a 30% drop in VIX. That's a fucking bull run in SPY. That's, in my opinion, 800 for SPY and NASDAQ somewhere. No financial advice. Also, to make that clear, VIX won't fall forever. If we do this run, if we come in close to 13, be careful. VIX will bounce here. And then we will go to our macro T. Yeah, to make that clear. This is a market correction, to say that. For the alternative, and I really have to say this time, I don't have one. I don't have an alternative that VIX is doing this. Yeah? If VIX is going over $20, That's bad. The only way I can see it is that we didn't even do M of M. In that case, we would come up here. Still, we would reject this trend line. And what trend line? I would say the trend line from April over 2025 to March to here. That would be, I wouldn't like it. That would be I can't even see that as an alternative. But that would be the only version. Then we would go down, up for a little T, down, and so on and so on. Yeah. But if you even break this, something is wrong. First of all, this is market crash territory. And second, I don't have it. Yeah. So let's see. I'm still bearish on VIX, especially with this movement. What would mean that for SPY? So for SPY, I mean, some people were the opinion it was a fucking bad week. For me personally, it was a fantastic week because, as I said, I went short here. Just because our alternative was, if we reject here, it's really bad. And I mean, that was 400%. That was perfect. Still, the opinion, because of VIX, I can't really see that bearish. Yeah. So if our VIX tracking is right, then this was still a top. This was still a V. This here is our higher low. In that case, to make it absolutely clear, I don't count these two candles. Again, because they only are on SPY. They are not on SPX. They are not on futures. They are not on NASDAQ, not on IWM. So for the bullish tracking, these candles aren't there for me. Yeah. And this here would be just our little a. In that case, we should go up. Yeah. End of story. Yeah. And to make that absolutely clear, especially, I want to see a push already next week. Because on Monday, because this would be our small higher low. This would be our tiny higher low. And we should go. Yeah. For confirmation, it's not really a confirmation if we gap fill, but if we break 754, I think we are out of the bearish territory. How it would look like, I would expect we would go up. Yeah. Not on Monday, maybe the whole week. Somewhere in the range of 786, breakout retest, and then we track further. Yeah. For the bearish alternative, which I don't have for VIX, for SPY, I have it. Yeah. The problem is, I said we should break 755. If we not do that, that's bad. Why? Because this was our top. This would be lower high. Started here. L, lower high, stopped here. This whole thing would be our M. In that case, Monday, next week, most likely the next 2 weeks, will be fucking red. In that case, you might gap fill here, but you will go down. Your next target is under 716, under this here. You will bounce somewhere in here. You will go up. Your M is finished. You won't break this trend line again. 740, this will be your T. And then your next target is 670, 680, 690. Still stands. Yeah. And that should be pretty brutal. Yeah. And why down here? Because it would be the breakout retest of January 2026. Here the important part. If you even break this, then we're talking about market crash. If we're not bouncing here, that's terrible. Really terrible. I mean, you can play short, yeah, but for the market in general, that's terrible. You would still get a bounce somewhere in here, yeah, because then you would do the macro lower high, yeah. But okay, then we're talking about bear market for years, yeah. But I'm still bullish, yeah. Especially when I look at VIX, I'm still bullish. The confirmation for the downside, in my opinion, is I don't want to break 739. Yeah. If we break in 739, that's breaking for me the uptrend. Yeah. And then you pretty quick will go down to 716, whatever the news is. Yeah. Of course, it will be war. If we do this, war is still going, but nobody talks about it because, you know, they're always looking for news to fit the narrative. Yeah. So let's see what we get on Monday. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. As always, tutorial video here, playlist here. The bigger update video back there. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, leave an abo. And hope I'm wrong on Monday. See you.